Welcome to a day in the life of an entrepreneur hosting a business mastermind here in Bangkok, Thailand. My name is Eric Otten. I'm a digital entrepreneur and an AI developer. If you're new here to my channel, make sure to subscribe. I think you'll like it. As the day got started, people began showing up to our venue here at Center Point Hotel. It's an absolutely beautiful hotel based in Thong Lor, an area of Bangkok, and we had arranged a venue specifically for this event. We had entrepreneurs running every type of business you could imagine: coaching and consulting, trading, software, social media, or AI agencies, you name it. But everybody came together for a shared purpose, which was to connect and learn about ways that they can build up more freedom in their life. We had 3 keynotes lined up for the day. First, Lyndon Chastain from Amplify Views. You might recognize him from a podcast I did on this channel a while back. He would talk about YouTube strategy and ways that you can use YouTube to acquire clients for your business. Next, Riley Stafford from Offshore Navigator would talk about ways that you can protect yourself in an increasingly connected world. These are ways that you can get multiple residencies and multiple passports so that you can stay diversified. And I would talk about AI and automation, specifically ways that business owners can identify tasks in their business and then automate them using virtual assistants and artificial intelligence workflows. I also plan to give the attendees a few tools that they can use to produce content for their e-commerce business, for their agency, you name it. And when I built out these slides, I made it very clear that I am not an AI hype bro. So many business owners get turned off by AI because they fall into the hype that they see on social media. And when it doesn't live up to their expectations, they disregard the field as a whole. As someone who works in this field, it gave me excellent insight into what is hype and what is real, actionable technology, so that whenever I gave the audience these tactics, they could actually apply it to their business. So as everyone was getting ready for the first talk, the hotel staff were incredibly accommodating. They were preparing coffees for everyone outside. It just goes to show you the level of service that Thailand has. And even as someone who's lived here for almost 2 years now, it still surprises me every time I see it. So Lyndon went up to give his keynote first, and right off the bat, you could tell that the audience was super attentive to every word he spoke. They didn't want to miss out on anything because it could be the one thing that transforms their YouTube channel, their business, or their life as a whole. So following a round of applause and a quick Q&A session, we headed downstairs for lunch. And at this point, we faced our first real challenge. See, we had pretty good communication on our side as we were organizing the event, but somehow the restaurant hadn't communicated with the hotel and they didn't know what all of our orders were. So regardless of the orders that we placed, every single seat had sea bass and rice on it. But even at this point, the hotel staff didn't hesitate to accommodate us. We told the restaurant staff what our orders were, and within about 15 minutes, they were already bringing it out for us. They let everybody keep their original orders, so we all had 2 plates of food here at this table. We also had this absolutely delicious chrysanthemum tea, which if you haven't had it before, it kind of tastes like honey. So now at this table, entrepreneurs from every type of industry who didn't know each other a few hours before are now talking like old friends. And what I think isn't discussed as much in the entrepreneurship space is the importance of community and connecting with those, even those who are not immediately in your own industry. Because the kind of person who starts an online business and moves halfway across the world is a very unique kind. And more than just talking about business strategies, this setting allowed the attendees to talk about the struggles that occur with this lifestyle. Now, don't get me wrong, it is amazing to live this kind of lifestyle, to be able to work from anywhere you want in the world and have the freedom to work on the things that you love. But one conversation stood out to me. I was talking with Elias, one of the attendees at the event, and we were talking about how people come and go in life. We were both close in age and we had a similar experience. See, whenever we finished school, the people that we knew began to grow distant. This is something that happens to everybody, but especially as entrepreneurs, we tend to outgrow our circles pretty quickly. And here's what I realized. It's easy to fall into the trap of only maintaining relationships that serve your current goals. You meet somebody at a networking event, you work together in some capacity, and when it's over, you just stop talking. But that's where the mistake lies. The moment that you treat relationships like transactions, you build your social circle on quicksand. The person who helped you get your first client might not be running a multi-million-dollar company, but it doesn't mean that they can't help you. The key isn't necessarily holding on to your day ones, because let's be honest, not everybody will come up with you, and that's okay. But at every stage in your journey, you should be trying to build these genuine relationships that can stay with you even as you level up. Because here's the thing, when you only focus on what somebody can do for you today, you miss out on what they might become tomorrow. And more importantly, you miss out on the real friendships that can help you throughout the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. And it's conversations like these that remind me why events are so important. Yes, we are here to learn business strategies, but we're also here to meet people who understand the path that we're on. So with our bellies full and our minds stimmied up on caffeine, we headed back upstairs for the next round of keynotes. Riley opened with a very cautious and warning tone. See, his topic was about how the world is becoming increasingly surveilled and locked down. He discussed digital ID, travel restrictions, and where the world is headed. But then he shifted the tone to one of opportunity. He talked about how you can acquire multiple residencies and multiple passports to protect yourself in this world. It was an incredibly valuable talk for those looking to diversify their life setup. And for the final keynote, I went up to discuss how business owners can use automation and AI to automate the back-end fulfillment of their business. And once their back-end fulfillment is automated, this opens up the door for them to take on more clients. So I shared with them a few strategies that they can use to produce content on social media to do exactly that. I walked them through a few tools that are actually moving the needle right now. Things like Nano Banana Pro for text to image, things like Kling AI for image to video, and platforms like 11 Labs, which allow you to turn text into audio, also known as speech synthesis. But more than just showing them these one-off tactics, I wanted to give them the frameworks and strategies for thinking about how to automate different activities inside their business. See, as someone who's worked and studied in both the tech side and the business side, I can see where these two worlds intersect. And the attendees were asking very thoughtful questions, which told me they weren't just looking for shiny objects. They wanted to understand how to actually integrate these tools and workflows into their existing systems without breaking everything. And that's the sweet spot. It's using technology to amplify what you're already good at without completely overhauling your business, because some random guy on X told you about this new AI tool. So I'll share the full keynote on my channel soon. If you want to see that, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss it whenever it's released. And after a Q&A session, we all got ready for dinner. I called a Sprinter van and we all got loaded up. We were on our way to Pastel rooftop bar and restaurant on the 22nd floor of Aria Hotel, overlooking the city down below. As we sat down and ordered drinks, the conversation quickly picked up where it left off. But this setting was different. It was like a Q&A part 2. Except now, people could ask questions that they were hesitant to ask in front of the whole group. And moving to a different location is actually strategic, because when you're in the same conference room all day, you begin to associate these topics that you've learned with the space itself. But when you change environments, it helps cement the ideas in a different context. They're now no longer tied to this one specific location. They're part of your memory. They're more real and they're more applicable to your life. Then came the highlight of the evening. As we were eating our food, someone at the table next to us was having their birthday. So the staff started playing music and they brought out sparklers and the entire waitstaff surrounded their table. And so while this was going on, I looked down the table at Riley. Without a single word spoken, we nodded, we pointed over to our friend, and we knew what the game plan was. Just a few minutes later, the waitstaff brought out sparklers and started playing music and began walking over to our table. See, Riley had told the staff that it was one of our friends Vikram's birthday today. It wasn't, but we knew that it would be a funny surprise for him. So as the waitstaff began walking over with their sparklers, with the music playing, Vikram was recording. He thought they were there for somebody else, but they were there for him. So the look on his face was priceless whenever they began to surround him and they put this massive cake in front of him. At this time, the entire table burst out in laughter. Vikram took it like a champ, and it was a great way to end the evening. Now, I'm incredibly grateful for everyone who showed up to this mastermind, as well as Riley, who I co-hosted this event with, who was massively helpful in organizing everything, and Lyndon, who flew into Bangkok specifically to give a talk at this event. So if you want to see my full keynote talking about AI and automation strategies, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, leave a like, show some love. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.